Today I'm gonna do a different live for beginners. Most of you that watch this channel know that the lives are up to advanced musician. I tell about scales, about rhythm, but I realized that there are some people that wants to start learning improvising and learning this rhythmic music with the Brazilian music, and you are also welcome. Alright, this channel is for who wants to play and improvise in Brazilian music, and in this and your level is not a problem. And today I'm gonna help you to read some music and to prepare the piece, because sometimes you can get so many time trying to resolve some problems, and if you have the technique to do this, you're gonna spend much less time. So this is a process that I used in my common classes with what is common classes? Classes not about just Brazilian music, but I give classes to some students that want to play the music they like, and this I developed using this technique using the book Fast and Slow of, I don't know if this is the real name in English, but of Daniel Kahneman. I understood some ideas that I tried to apply in my classes, and my results were really interesting. Everybody started to study like that, and me too. I started testing this method of studying, and now all my students use it. And what is the principle of this method? When our minds are overwhelmed with information, our minds start to lose the information that we are trying to pick. For example, you are studying some piece, some measure of the song, and you study, and it's very difficult. So you try to play sometimes, and when you get it and can play, you go to the next measure and continue. If you find another difficult measure to play, your brain is gonna forget all the work it's done to play that measure. So I use some strategy of joining information. I get one information, I do some reviews, and I join with what comes before, what came before. And when my mind is very tired of getting new information, I just change the information. Another technique I use to learn things, difficult things to me, it's to study in sections of 15 minutes. And when I say 15 minutes, for many students they think it's so few time to learn something. And in the matter of fact, 15 minutes, if you can go some steps repeating. When you use well the 15 minutes, you can go some steps up. So if you it's very important to use this to understand if you are using this a good process inside this 15 minutes, because if you don't use a good process, you're gonna lose just 15 minutes, and you're gonna not realize anything that you go forward. So I would like to show a little of this. And when I tell 15 minutes, it's using the chronometer, because people used to spend all their energy studying the thing they like more, and when they have to study some other subject, they don't have any more energy. So this 15 minutes process is very important, because it you maintain you with will and to study the other things. So when I see some student lost in some subject, I tell him, use the chronometer. When it's when it finishes, when the alarm sounds, you stop where you are. And people in the first months of class, they don't believe in me. They just no, I had to study a little more, because for me, I think I'm different. I take more time to learn, and in the most cases, 99% of the cases, if you adjust the way they are studying, they are gonna have visible results in this the short time. All right, and today I've chosen to show this a little of this process. I've chosen a song by Baden-Powell that's called Tempo Feliz, and I've chosen this because it has many syncopations, that it's a difficult division for many foreigner musicians play. Brazilian music is often in 2/4 meter, and many people has difficulty to read. And this piece is full of syncopations, so you can work gradually and understand the process in a slow time. And after you have been played this piece, your capability of playing this division will be increased. All right. Another thing I would like to say to you, it's that when my mind gets full, I have one strategy that I discovered, that is to change the part of the song that you are. This is very important, because it's like your mind will feel resetted. You won't feel tired if you begin a new work. So sometimes I choose different works inside a piece to move between them when I feel tired, and I move between them. When I return, my mind is more prepared to understand the previous information that I've worked in another session. I'm combining a lot of different techniques of studying. This is the spacing technique. So I use the spacing technique. I don't overload my mind. I change the different parts in just one song, and that is one thing that's very intuitive to a lot of us, and that people want to play a song till the end, and that is a very big problem, because when you play till the end, your mind won't have the opportunity to carry all that information. So working a few measures per session of study, that you're gonna have very interesting results. There is here in Brazil, I don't know if this phrase is known all over the world, that is a swimmer, he was a professional, that he says it's better to do one movement. It's better to do one movement 1,000 times than to do 1,000 movements one time. And that is that is what I consider important in music. Not to repeat anything 1,000 times, but repeat the necessary times to your mind get comfortable with it. Alright, so let's put the song, and I'm gonna show some techniques of studying for you that can think this is very difficult to play. So I would like to start with the melody, and talking about the melody, for if you are a keyboard player, if you play the piano, the accordion, or any instrument that has a fingering, or the guitar also, it's important to try to repeat with the same fingering. If you play an instrument, a string instrument, sometimes you're gonna have different ways of playing the same note, but try to choose always the easiest one and the same at all repetitions, because your mind is gonna learn this movement. The more times you repeat with the same structure, repeating the same fingers, more your mind will be comfortable in playing it. Alright? So this song can be read even for musicians that has difficulties to read the notes. If you take so many time to read notes, no problem. The important thing is don't take so much information if it's heavy to you. Feel, pay attention in your mind if it's working on a heavy way, or on a light way. If it's light, it's easy, you go ahead. If not, you can repeat. Alright? So for example, you can take the first notes of this. Let's think I have difficulties of reading. Alright? It's so difficult to me. I don't have anything with the rhythmic division. I just know the notes. So I can play them slowly, one by one. And if I'm thinking so strongly to know the next note, you can stop and repeat from where you start. If it's possible in this time to go to the next note, I can go. Alright? So I try to repeat. Alright? I play just one phrase, and people that has much more difficult than me, they want to go ahead, they want to play. You have to stop. People sometimes talk, I'm gonna study one system per day. And this is not a good method, because some systems can be very hard to play. I have a good example of it. For example, if you take some book that has a very difficult concept in some page, you can read that page in just in 5 minutes. Sometimes you have to search for more information, to understand some concepts that you don't know. You have to stop the if you want to really understand that page, you have sometimes to stop and to stop and work more on it. All right. So the same thing we think on music. If it's very heavy to go ahead, don't go ahead. And people do that, but try to control yourself. That it's gonna you're gonna see the result. So I've worked on this phrase, and for example, some of you can have. This is very easy to me. I have no problems in reading the notes, but I have problems with the rhythm. So if you have problems with the rhythm, it's really important to try to understand it. For example, in this first measure, we have there is rest of 16th notes. After that, a 16th note and one 16th note. I'm sorry, one rest of 16th note, one 8th note, and one 16th again. After that, we have the same cell without the rest. 16th, 8th note, and 16th again. So, are you capable of beating your foot and putting these notes inside your beat? The beat of your feet. For example, I'm gonna beat my feet. I know that I play the G and the A, and I beat it again, and I play the C sharp and the the F sharp, and I beat my foot. Some people, this happened, and I can say an interesting thing for you. People are very worried to solve all the problems at the same times. And now I'm taking care of the division. Don't worry yourself with some sharp note you forgot. No problem with that. Be focused in understanding the rhythm, alright? If you can play with the right notes, very good. But this time I'm using to play the rhythm. And if it's very difficult to you, you can distort the rhythms through the tempo. You can just thinking, I have to beat my feet, and I play G. After that I play A. After that I beat my foot. I play the C sharp, I play the F sharp, and I beat my foot. And it can seem that this won't give you some result, but you are preparing your body to do this coordination. After some days, it will be very easy to control. And you have the important thing in the study of music, it's to understand what you are doing, to understand and focus your mind in one part of the purpose you are trying to get. All right. So you can play your put your feet. And no problem if you are just studying one measure, because most of the times you're gonna find repeated information. So it doesn't mean that I'm studying just one measure today, that the next measures I'm gonna take one more day to study them. The most, if you understand, for example, this syncopation, a division, you're gonna be more capable to do this in the other days. You won't spend the same time. You spend more time to understand for the first time, but the next turns you're going to be more prepared. All right. So this was the process that, for example, I studied this first phrase. And nice. So for example, you did this work and you are very tired. Your mind is already tired. What can you do? You don't need to stop studying. You can just change. For example, I'm gonna jump for the fifth system. That, for example, that is some difficult note to read out of the treble clef. It's on Lager lines, on Lager 9. So I can count, and I know that in the fifth system first measure I have one note D. So I recognized it, and most of the people will gonna continue reading. They are going to try with a lot of difficulty. They are going to try to continue. But if you had so much difficulty to play, you take your hand out of the instrument and play again, and try to read the next. It's let me fake the situation. I used C, but that is a C sharp. So I return and play C, D, and C sharp. The next D will be easier. So when I force myself, I have to stop and put my hand again. And so I go note by note, but always returning. So the phrase will be. So I recognize all the notes. I can think in a fingering for doing that. So I start one fingering. I can write down on the lead sheet and try to return and play sometimes with that finger. Am I tired again? Alright, I'm gonna search another part of the song. I'm gonna try to use the second ending, for example. So I beat my. Very difficult to me. If not, you can continue. If so, you repeat so many times to get more comfortable. So I always choose 3 different parts of the music to start with. It's better parts of the beginning of sessions, because you can start a new fingering there, and it will be easier to repeat. But this is very different from the common way people tries to study. They want just to read, and they start with a lot of energy, because some days you wake up with more energy, you are happy to study music, and today I'm gonna do whatever it takes to play this song. But if you try to read from the beginning to the end, you're gonna be so tired, and in a few repetitions you won't see interesting result, and you'll be very tired, and many people fail in this try. So try to work in simple measures, repeating them just 15 minutes. If you have more 15 minutes, you can try to study another part of the music. For example, if you have difficulties with arpeggios or to play the chords, you can work just in 2 chords, for example. That is an E minor 7. What is an E minor 7? I can play my E major, I can play it minor, and I can put the 7th. Some of you know the theory, but you don't have the practice of playing chords in a fast way to recognize them. So you force yourself to play. After, if it's very difficult to you, don't go to the next. Alright? You have to take out your hand and put again in that chord. Sometimes this chord is so difficult to you that you take off your hand and when you are going to put again, you forgot the chord. And just sometimes, and your mind is gonna understand better that chord. If it's alright, let's see the second chord. This is, for example, another section of 15 minutes. So I'm gonna read the A. So what is an A7? I search for it, I go, I found the major third and the 7th one, one step below the A, and I could play it. So what comes next? If I had difficulty to recognize this chord, to find in the piano, I don't go to the next, I return to the first. I play E minor 7 and A7. At the minimum 3 times. I like to play always 3 times. So I did 3 times. Oh, they are okay. So if I feel comfortable, I'm not tired, let's learn the D major 7. What is the major 7? Well, half step below the one or the root of the chord. So I found this. If it's I took so many time to play just this chord, I take out my hand and put again and play again. This is the D major 7. And I'm doing a lot of repeated times. And is it easy to me? Yes. So I take my E minor 7, the A7 and the D. I make a review of these chords. When you return in the next day, you're gonna realize that in a few tries, and I'm saying 2 or 3 times, if you maintain the same conditions, because there is one thing that people forget to maintain, you're gonna be more able to play. You're gonna realize that you are thinking better. And there is some people that would say to me, but sometimes when I return in the next day, everything changed, I don't remember nothing. And the most of the situations that this happened, they don't realize that they changed the rules, because it's more easy for them, so they started doing more quickly. The mind is a little more fast, but they start to commit more mistakes. They didn't committed one mistake in the day before, but in the next day they start to commit a lot of mistakes. And when you commit mistakes or when you are not reminding what you did yesterday, the thing is, just play slowly. Think that it's not because you are tired, you didn't sleep well. The problem is not that. The problem is you are trying in different conditions. Sometimes a fingering of the that you were using is changing, because your mind found new ways to do the same thing, and this change of fingering can create some confusion. So try to repeat exactly the same process. You're gonna you're gonna take a few minutes to do that, all right? And if it's easy to do, you can walk through the music. You can read more measures, and you do a review and start working the next chord, the next measures. For us pianists, you can work brands separately, all right? And for the same thing for harmony, try to review the chords. They aren't easy anymore, I don't remember. Do the same process, just play one chord, play the another one. If it's very difficult, you work on it. Take off your hand, put again, take off your hand, put again, and return to the previous chord. People always like to go forwards, and the secret of retaining in the information, it's work backwards. It's work going. It's returning and repeating, and go a little more forward. So return and repeat. This is a very interesting work that gives many results, and this you can learn any song, any difficult division doing that. All right. So this is the process I use. I recommend you to try to apply, and if you want to know, I truly believe that you're gonna find some difficulties and some problems with this method. It's very common, and I can help you if you send me on the comments, I'm working on a song and I'm not being able to continue, or try to explain your problem to me, that I'm gonna help you. Alright? So I hope you have enjoyed this live. This is for beginners, but the same concepts I apply to advanced things, and I'm here to help and to see you playing Brazilian music in a more authentic way. If you are starting yourself in this process of reading chords and improvising through the Brazilian music, the place is also here. If you're an advanced musician and are searching for more language and more and playing with the real Brazilian accent, the place is here too. Just write in the comments what you want. That every day I'm doing lives talking about it, and it will be a pleasure to help you. Alright? So thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow for more lives and quick tips about Brazilian music. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.